So this is just a general common example of what you've probably often heard called a honing steel or honing rod. Sometimes a sharpening steel or a sharpening rod. Most people get the wrong idea about what these things are actually used for. You see the old guy down by the wharf or in the woods standing next to his moose, and he's going crazy. And they think they're sharpening their knife. They're removing steel, and there are certain versions of these gridded rods, diamond rods and stuff. Spyderco makes the sharpening rods now, ceramic rods for sharpening, but in general these steel ones, that's not what these are used for. So if you have a nice beautiful edge, you take it off the stones, it's nice and sharp, and you put it to work. So you start filleting fish, you put it to work in the woods, standing up alongside of a moose, skinning, deboning, this type of thing. What happens to your knife on a microscopic level is this right here. Now this is an exaggeration, but remember it's on a microscopic level. So your edge, those dull spots, are all little rolls and dents. So this happens constantly while you're working your knife. Think about how fine that apex is. On a very microscopic level, this is the type of thing that's happening, and it's really affecting your performance. At this point, you're not really losing any steel, but what you are losing is performance, because that edge is not standing proud anymore and able to cut the flesh. It's rolled over. It's sort of laying down on the job, so to speak. Now when you have all those rolls in your edge and you start drawing it against a hard steel rod like this, what you're doing, and it's going to be hard to demonstrate with this because it's so flimsy, but what you're doing is pushing all those rolls back up. So all that steel that is as curled over, as that rod comes along, you're forming them, you're standing them up proud again into a nice edge. Now these are excellent tools for doing what they're designed to do, and even though you see the old fellow down by the wharf running his blade like this and it seems like he's sharpening, he's not. Sharpening is to remove steel and to establish a new edge. He's only fixing up or tidying up the existing edge. That's what's happening there. Now it will help your knife perform better again, and it'll keep your knife in check for longer before you have to go back to the stones, but eventually, without a doubt, you will have to remove steel. Your edge will get too poor, too blunt to be able to correct with this anymore, and you will need an actual sharpening on the stones to remove some steel and re-establish a new edge. I find that stropping strokes work the best, so I will run my edge just like this. So back and out, just use the length of your rod, but it's not a big deal, and you're, just like we talked about, pulling out those wrinkles and rolls. I like to go over and under. You can do whatever works for you. Some people will use the top of their rod like this, back and forth, but I find it's most efficient to do stropping strokes like this. So you kind of see what I'm doing here. As I'm pulling that edge back into shape. I'm not trying to remove any steel. The angle is not extremely important, but you get the idea. We're pulling out those wrinkles, standing that edge up nice and proud again. So that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Once again, like any tool, this is a great tool when it's used how it was designed to be used. And keep that in mind, that your knife will still eventually need a sharpening, however you are good at using these. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button. Leave me a comment down below. Share this video if you liked it or if you learned something. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.